Welcome everybody to the fourth session of this workshop here. I'd like to today go over sort of an intro to meditation. And this could be standing meditation or sitting meditation, whatever you prefer, because it's going to be mostly focusing on the internal, what's going on with the breathing, more so than anything else. The reason this is important to the specific practice that I do, wushu, these kind of martial arts based in Chinese principles, is because the movements themselves, you're only going to be able to get the full feeling of them, the flow that's underneath the movements. You're only going to be able to embody that once you learn to really relax your muscles really deeply. With these movements, you want to almost empty yourself of any tension. So that's physical tension, muscular tension, even emotional tension, baggage, anything like that that's going to get in the way of the movement. You want to clear your body out and really embody a sense of softness and like liquid, like air, as opposed to hardness. In the movements themselves, there's both these elements. There's hard, strong, solid, at the same time as there's relaxed and empty. The reason that it's important to focus on meditation to sort of cultivate that relaxed state is because so much of our daily life and a lot of physical activities as well emphasize the tense aspect. So that's already pretty much there. So now we're just trying to balance that. With the movements themselves, sometimes, as I said with the wheel arms movement, the hand is usually going to be very tense, very solid, full of energy, full of focus, at the same time as the shoulder is going to be relaxed. So you have already the solid feeling matched together with this empty feeling. And that also mirrors just how our bodies are naturally constructed. We've got very solid bones on the inside that provide the structure at the same time as you have this soft, fleshy, liquid aspect as well. And if we were all solid, then we wouldn't be able to move. If we were all super soft and flexible, we'd have no stance, no structure. So you need both of these to work together. So when we're doing these martial arts or any sort of movement, you've got both the hard aspect, the tense aspect, and the relaxed aspect. And you should certainly not overlook the hard. That's why we practice tensing up the hands, making a very solid fist for a strike, or working on the legs too, having any kind of exercise to really get some strength, some solidity. But at the same time as you have that, you also have to work on loosening up everything. Because then also in a combat application, the more relaxed you are, the more loose you are, the more receptive you are to whatever comes your way. If you're up here tight, then you have no responsiveness. That's why it's important to cultivate that open state, relaxed state. But as far as how you actually do that, we can focus on breathing first of all. So you'll get a stance where your feet are a little bit wider than shoulder width, or if you're sitting down, you do the same thing no matter how you are. Just make sure that you're feeling very settled. Whatever posture you need, just so long as your spine is pretty much straight. Picturing a string at the top of your head holding you up. So wherever you are, you just don't want to be off to one side this way. You don't want to be leaning back or leaning forward. You won't have any sense of stability. So whether you're sitting or standing, just make sure you drop the hips down a little bit. Picture a string at the top of your head holding you up. So instead of falling back any one direction or falling forward, the string is lifting you straight up. When you breathe in, it's as though that string is being lifted, like a puppeteer pulling you up. When you breathe in, you rise up. And normally we'll also have the hands match that. So the same time that you inhale and let your whole body be pulled up, same time as you do that, you're going to let your wrist, you're going to let your hands, everything rise up. When you're ready to exhale, you're going to settle down, get the opposite feeling. Before you were feeling very light, rising up. When you exhale, you're going to get a very solid feeling. It's like you're sinking into the ground. And let that same string loosen. Let yourself fall to the ground. So on the inhale, you're going to rise up. On the exhale, settle down and get more stable. This is the basic hand movement that I normally start with. On the inhale, you're picturing a string pulling your head up, the crown of your head up, the same time as you're pulling your wrist up. And on the exhale, letting the wrist collapse, and then the elbows come down, and then the whole body come down. Like a wave is picking you up on the inhale, picking up your whole body. On the exhale, it's like pushing a beach ball down into a big tub of water. That sort of feeling, that sort of flow. When you inhale, you lift up. When you exhale, you sink down. And you can do any number of hand movements. Just try and focus on, with the inhale, feeling very light and lifting your whole body, your whole presence up. And then when you exhale, sinking everything into the ground. When you do movements, especially wushu movements, in a routine, you want to be able to switch back and forth between sometimes being very light, like you come here, you do a butterfly jump, something like this. You come up and you're very light. As soon as you land though, you want to be much more solid, come down here. So you have that same feeling, you're always going back and forth between being empty, lifting up, and then being solid, coming down. So that's why we do the breathing. The more you can practice this when you're standing still, the more you'll be able to apply it to whatever movement you do, whether it's a sparring movement, whether it's a dance movement. It'll be helpful to be aware of the energy in your body, the quality of your muscles in your whole body. So again, we'll just continue with that for a little bit. You can follow along, starting off, sinking down into the ground. And on the inhale, picture everything rising up. You don't even have to move the hands very much, but just picture you're being lifted up. On the exhale, you're settling down, pushing down. You can let your hands do whatever comes naturally to them. If you already have your own breathing exercises or meditation practice, you can do your hands in that motion. What's really important is the feeling, the sensation of on the inhale rising up, on the exhale sinking down. And people have all sorts of different visualizations that they do, or kind of focus that they may attend to in their mind while they do this. But that's really personal. It's up to you, whatever your goal is with the meditation. You can have that inform where your focus goes. Right now I just want to emphasize the inhale and the rising, and the exhale, settling down. You should do that at your own pace. If you're breathing very quickly, then your rising and falling will be a little quicker. Usually, the longer you practice in any given session, over time, after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, naturally your heart rate will tend to lower, your breathing will tend to go slower, and ideally you'll achieve a little bit more relaxation than when you began, both muscular, emotional, everything. So yeah, we'll do one last time just to follow along. When you inhale, you rise up. However you want to put your hands is fine. When you exhale, make sure you press down. And these palms, when you're rising and falling, it's a little bit different than the palms in the last 3 sessions where we were doing more of a wushu movement where you have the palm very tense. Right now you're not doing that. This is more of a Tai Chi, Bagua, internal martial art type of gesture. So the palm will be, instead of being completely tight, it'll be a little relaxed. It also won't be completely limp either, somewhere in the middle here. You rise up and sink down. You can move any way that your body leads you or feels comfortable, but just focus on the breathing. Always inhaling and letting your body rise up, and then exhaling. Let your body sink down. A couple more times. Inhale. Exhale. And again, you rise up on the inhale. And when you exhale, sink down into the ground. And when I finish, I like to rise up and then settle. And let my hands come over my center. And just from here, sink into the ground and settle. And people settle in different ways. You can have your hands over your center. You can have up here in a Tai Chi posture. There's a tree standing. Either way, just get your whole body sunk into the ground. And try and relax your shoulders as much as you can. From there, sink down. After all this rising and falling, it's helpful to finally get settled. Help you transition into whatever movement you decide to move on to next. Hopefully you find that all helpful. If you have any questions, please let me know. And we'll see you next time with some more movements to work on. Take care.